De la right, my MVVs, welcome.
Report has it that there was a plan that was brewing inside the palace of the Ooni of Ife, where Ebony and Gospel had led that plan. Okay, they plotted to want to quit the palace. Okay, just to destabilize the Ooni of Ife. Out of jealousy that he is focused on Olori Naomi alone, that Kabiyesi should do it alone with Queen Naomi, if since he feels like they do not matter. Okay, they said this plan did not go well, like it did not see the light of day because people like Dr. Lizzy, and this time, as in surprisingly, not Oletik again, this time Gospel washed her hands off that she is not going to be part of the plan. This is what we are hearing. If the information is true, they say the air at the palace of the Ooni of Ife is no longer calm. What once seemed like a harmonious royal, household is now clouded with tension, silent resentment, and an open secret that has left even the palace guard whispering at the corridor. One thing is clear: Queen Naomi's continued reverence and the Ooni's open affection for her have triggered a quiet rebellion, one that now threatens to tear apart the sisterhood of the Oloris from within. It all began, softly, okay, side glances, whispered conversations, silence where there was no laughter, okay, where there was once laughter. The Oloris had started planning their, quiet exit, not necessarily from the palace physically, but emotionally, politically, and symbolically. No one wanted to be seen as defeated, but deep within, some had started accepting that the Ooni's heart had long been spoken for Queen Naomi, okay? Had long been spoken. Queen Naomi wasn't just any other royal consort. She is the chosen one, the royal priestess, the divine wife whose presence and aura could not be erased by time or status. At the center of this rebellion was Ebony, bold, calculative, and of course, determined. Ebony rallied others around her, saying, if we are no longer important, let the king be with Queen Naomi alone. We will no longer play second fiddle to her majesty. Her word cut deep, yet they echoed what others were already feeling. She positioned herself as the voice of the sideline, the one who would, challenge the Ooni's favoritism. She believed that if they, unite, they could awaken or they could weaken Queen Naomi's stronghold. As we are hearing, but the alliance didn't hold for long. Two key figures in the palace drama, Dr. Elizabeth and Blublue, refused to dance to Ebony's drumbeat. At first, they listened. Dr. Elizabeth, known for her calm intellect and maturity, warned that any uprising against Queen Naomi could bring disgrace to the royal institution and a spiritual backlash the palace might not recover from. She reminded them, Naomi is consecrated before all of us. She, was here before we stepped in to the sacred circle. Her role is not one of competition, but destiny, which is of course, what they have all been told and what they all know. They said Blublue, on the other hand, had always held a special, respect, no matter what. Sometimes they try to manipulate her. But since she made that decision that she's not going to work against her husband again, they say, even though from time to time she tries to, she's not as firm as Dr. Lizzy, okay? Most time they try to, make her stray, but this time she stood and she said she is not doing it, okay? That she had grown to understand the unique bond the Ooni shared with, Queen Naomi. When Ebony tried to lure her into the anti-Naomi circle, Blublue was blunt. She publicly rebuked the attempt and, faced Ebony with fury, okay? Her words had echoed through the palace walls. This is what we are hearing. Welcome back to my channel. It's your girl, De La Rama. I bring you fresh and spicy gist from this house. And still on the Royals. How are you guys doing? I appreciate you so much. I love you. I share. I do Well, my people, if you're yet to subscribe, kindly go ahead and hit that subscribe button and do not forget to turn on the notification bell and do not forget to give this video a thumbs up, okay? Now, as we are hearing, fight for your battle alone. They said that was what Blublue said to Ebony, okay? That she should fight for her battle alone, okay? Ebony had been confronting, Olori Naomi over and over again. When they first got married, she used to lean on the support of Blublue. Blublue is also royalty and well respected from the Lafogidi dynasty. They are big in Ile-Ife, and so things have been quite difficult for Ebony right now because Blublue is no longer supporting Ebony, and that's the part that Ebony really truly doesn't like. Okay, this palace cannot have peace when you keep fighting the woman whose place was ordained. They said that was what Dr. Elizabeth also said to Ebony, that it is enough. Those words didn't just stink. They sparked a full-blown war, cold war among the Oloris. A line had been drawn. Dr. Elizabeth and, Blublue stood together, preserving the royal sanctity and refusing to be part of any conspiracy, while Ebony and her followers continued scheming, bitter and desperate. And you see, this is one thing I don't like about Oletik. Oletik, you can never be able to define her. You can never be able to tell where she stands. But when you see her, she looks very big, and when she speaks, you think that she can really be firm in her decision, but she's easily swayed. Today she's this side, tomorrow she's that side. I remember like a few weeks ago there was something that came up and she said she is not doing. So basically when Oletik says she's not doing it because of the fact that it is not the right thing to do. She is not doing it because she doesn't want to do it. She's not doing it because you were not standing by her when it was her turn. But one thing that is different about Dr. Elizabeth, when Dr. Elizabeth says she's not doing something, she is really not doing it because it's the wrong thing. She's not going to be a part of something that is going to hurt Kabiyesi. But however, when it comes to Oletik, it's different. You didn't stand for me the other time. Why should I stand for you? And that is where I have a problem with Oletik. As we are hearing what is going on, they said the eternal war quickly became evident. Meals once shared in harmony were now taken in separate quarters. Traditional duties were neglected. Recently, they said it's been a serious buzz in the palace. Traditional duties were neglected. Festivities became awkward with, each Olori eyeing the other with suspicion and disdain. Even the traditional staff of the palace noticed that the palace women refused to be drawn into sight, but the subtle shift in royalty could not be missed. For the Yoruba tradition, the Ooni is more than a monarch. He is a spiritual custodian, and his household is supposed to represent balance and divine harmony. Any disruption in the palace is considered a reflection of imbalance in the land. The tension among the Oloris was becoming spiritually risky. Priests and palace elders began to murmur, wondering if this division would affect not just the palace but the kingdom at large. The most, ironic part, Queen Naomi had not uttered a word. She's the queen of silence. She would never ever say anything. No matter how much they drag her, she in the Nigerian, scale of things, celebrities. I'm not talking about royal celebrities. I'm talking about all of them, okay? Queen Naomi is one of those Oloris that will never say pim. If you drag her from January to December, she will not say pim. She will not say, she doesn't have the time to talk to you. She doesn't have the time to put her mouth in everything. She had remained distant but dignified, allowing the echoes to swell without lifting a finger. Yet her silence screamed the loudest. Her recent movement to the UK with the Onis brand new Gulfstream G700, a jet none of the other wives had ever touched, only fueled the flames of jealousy. Her belongings were moved in royal style, with the Ooni himself reportedly, overseeing her comfort. That action was the last straw for many of the Oloris. It was clear where the king's heart truly, belongs. And that is why they have continued to fight, and they'll continue to fight. Some began planning their emotional exit, pulling away from royal responsibilities, skipping cultural appearances and quietly instructing their aide to begin securing other, looking for homes and all of that. As if they tell them to pack today, they will pack. They will not pack. Today is not the first time we have heard that they are looking, they want to move and all of that. But at the end of the day, you still see them there in the palace of the Ooni of Ife. Well, this is what we are hearing. If the information is true, I'm going to bring you more update. Do not forget that these are all alleged, rumored, unverified information making the rounds on social media and should not be seen as fact.